The idyllic town of Hayward, California stood as a testament to suburban tranquility. Its peaceful facade was shattered on May 27, 2011. The disappearance of 26-year-old nursing student Michelle Lee sent shockwaves through the community. Michelle vanished without a trace, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. The unsettling mystery gripped the town, transforming its familiar streets into a haunting reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface. The community, once a beacon of safety, found itself grappling with fear and suspicion. Michelle was last seen at the Kaiser Permanente Medical Center in Hayward. She had told friends she was going to her car during a break. Her white Honda SUV vanished with her. Days turned into weeks, and the lack of leads only deepened the mystery. The community rallied together, organizing searches and vigils, desperately clinging to hope. However, as time wore on, a chilling realization began to dawn. Michelle's disappearance was no ordinary missing persons case. The investigation quickly escalated, drawing in seasoned detectives and capturing national attention. The circumstances surrounding Michelle's vanishing were baffling. Her car, her purse, her cell phone all gone, as if she had simply ceased to exist. The case became a haunting puzzle, with each passing day adding a new layer of complexity. The quaint town of Hayward, once a symbol of peace, now found itself at the center of a chilling mystery. The disappearance of Michelle Lee became a stark reminder that even in the safest of havens, darkness can lurk, waiting to snatch away the unsuspecting. The community held its breath, united in grief and fear, desperately seeking answers that seemed lost in the swirling vortex of uncertainty. As days turned into weeks, the hope of finding Michelle alive began to dwindle, replaced by a growing sense of dread and the chilling realization that something truly sinister had transpired. Michelle Lee was a vibrant young woman on the cusp of a promising future. She had a contagious laugh and a warm smile that could light up a room. Michelle was a dedicated nursing student, driven by a deep desire to help others. She dreamed of a career where she could make a real difference in people's lives. Her compassion and empathy were evident to all who knew her, making her disappearance all the more heartbreaking. Michelle had a close-knit family and a wide circle of friends who adored her. She was the life of the party, always ready with a witty remark or a kind word. Her infectious energy had a way of lifting the spirits of those around her. Michelle had a zest for life that was truly inspiring. She embraced every moment with open arms, making the most of each day. The sudden disappearance of such a vibrant soul sent shockwaves through her community and beyond. Michelle's story resonated with people from all walks of life. She represented the best of humanity: kindness, compassion, and a thirst for life. The thought that such a bright light could be extinguished so abruptly was simply unfathomable. Michelle's absence left a void in the lives of those who loved her, a void that could never be filled. As the investigation into her disappearance dragged on, Michelle's loved ones clung to hope, praying for her safe return. However, as time passed and the leads grew cold, a sense of despair began to set in. The once vibrant image of Michelle began to fade, replaced by the haunting specter of her unknown fate. The tragedy of her disappearance served as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing every moment. Enter Giselle Esteban, a childhood friend of Michelle's, whose connection to the case would soon send chills down the spines of investigators and the public alike. On the surface, Giselle appeared to be a grieving friend, expressing concern and offering support to Michelle's family. However, beneath the facade of empathy, a darker truth began to emerge. Investigators soon discovered that Giselle harbored a long-standing obsession with Michelle, fueled by a twisted sense of rivalry and resentment. Giselle and Michelle's friendship dated back to their high school years. However, their relationship was far from idyllic. Giselle, often insecure and seeking validation, viewed Michelle as competition, both academically and socially. This rivalry intensified when both women became romantically involved with the same man, further fueling Giselle's animosity towards Michelle. As the investigation progressed, detectives uncovered a pattern of obsessive behavior from Giselle. She had been tracking Michelle's movements, making harassing phone calls, and even showing up at her workplace unannounced. Giselle's obsession with Michelle had spiraled out of control, transforming her from a jealous acquaintance into a dangerous stalker. Her actions painted a disturbing picture of a woman consumed by envy and driven to extreme lengths to exact revenge on the object of her obsession. The revelation of Giselle's true nature sent shockwaves through the community. How could someone who had once been considered a friend harbor such dark intentions? The case became a chilling example of the devastating consequences of unchecked obsession. Giselle's actions served as a stark reminder that even those closest to us can be capable of unthinkable acts. The investigation now had a clear suspect, but the question remained: could they gather enough evidence to link Giselle to Michelle's disappearance? Section 4. Whispers and Shadows. The investigation unfolds. The investigation into Michelle Lee's disappearance was marked by dead ends and tantalizing clues. Detectives worked tirelessly, following every lead, hoping to uncover the truth. The community provided tips and participated in searches, fueling the investigation. The case became a shared obsession, uniting everyone in their pursuit of justice. Detectives pieced together a timeline of Michelle's last known movements. They reviewed footage, interviewed friends and family, and analyzed phone records. The pressure mounted with each passing day. Time was of the essence to bring closure to her grieving family. The breakthrough came when investigators discovered a connection between Giselle Esteban and a suspicious vehicle. Surveillance footage showed a car resembling Giselle's near Michelle's vehicle. This placed Giselle at the scene and made her the prime suspect. The net was closing in, and the truth was about to be revealed. The relentless efforts of the investigators and the community were paying off. The case, once an unsolvable puzzle, was yielding its secrets. Each new piece of evidence brought them closer to the truth, and justice for Michelle Lee seemed within reach. The determination to find Michelle never wavered, and now they were on the verge of unraveling the mystery. Section 5. The Wall's close-in forensic evidence. Forensic evidence emerged as a silent witness, its cold, hard facts weaving a damning narrative of guilt around Giselle Esteban. Michelle's DNA was found in Giselle's car, a chilling testament to the violence that had transpired. Traces of Michelle's blood were discovered on Giselle's shoes, painting a gruesome picture of the struggle that had likely taken place. The forensic findings corroborated the suspicions of the investigators, confirming their belief that Giselle was responsible for Michelle's disappearance. The discovery of Michelle's DNA in Giselle's car was a pivotal moment in the investigation. It placed Giselle at the scene of the crime and directly linked her to Michelle's disappearance. The forensic evidence was irrefutable, shattering any doubt about Giselle's involvement. The walls were closing in, and Giselle's carefully constructed facade of innocence began to crumble. Further solidifying the case against Giselle were cell phone records that placed her in the vicinity of the hospital at the time of Michelle's disappearance. The records showed a flurry of calls between Giselle and Michelle, followed by a series of calls from Giselle to unknown numbers, suggesting a desperate attempt to cover her tracks. The digital trail left by Giselle's phone calls painted a damning picture, corroborating the physical evidence and strengthening the case against her. The forensic evidence, combined with the eyewitness accounts and cell phone records, formed a compelling narrative of guilt. The pieces of the puzzle had fallen into place, revealing the horrifying truth behind Michelle Lee's disappearance. Giselle Esteban, the once trusted friend, stood exposed as a cold-blooded killer, her motive a toxic cocktail of obsession, jealousy, and rage. The weight of the evidence was overwhelming, leaving no room for doubt about her culpability. Justice for Michelle was now within reach, but the fight was far from over. Section 6. Justice is served. The trial and verdict. The trial of Giselle Esteban was a media spectacle, captivating the nation and bringing the tragic case of Michelle Lay into the homes and hearts of millions. The prosecution presented a meticulous case, laying out the evidence against Giselle in chilling detail. They painted a picture of a woman consumed by jealousy and driven to murder by her own twisted desires. The forensic evidence, the eyewitness accounts, and the damning cell phone records all pointed to Giselle's guilt. Giselle, maintaining her innocence throughout the trial, claimed that she had been framed. Her defense team argued that the prosecution's case was circumstantial, and that there was no direct evidence linking Giselle to Michelle's murder. They attempted to cast doubt on the reliability of the forensic evidence, and suggested that other individuals had both the motive and opportunity to harm Michelle. However, the jury was unconvinced by the defense's arguments. After days of deliberation, they returned a guilty verdict, finding Giselle Esteban guilty of first-degree murder. The courtroom erupted in gasps and sobs as the weight of the verdict sunk in. Justice had been served, but it came at a heavy price. The loss of a young life cut tragically short. For Michelle's family and friends, the verdict brought a sense of closure, but it could never erase the pain of their loss. They had endured a grueling trial, forced to relive the nightmare of Michelle's disappearance and murder. The guilty verdict provided a measure of solace, knowing that Giselle would be held accountable for her actions. However, the void left by Michelle's absence would forever remain, a constant reminder of the precious life stolen too soon.